Hello. In this Solutions Architect Associate, I wish to demonstrate about this module 3. This is the challenge lab, and my name is Anand. Yes, in this lab we are going to creating a static website for the website. Okay, so for the cafe. So this is the lab, challenge lab, uh, creating a static website for the cafe. The scenario is given. You can go through this scenario also. There is, I think I have already started the lab. If I click AWS, I'll get this, AWS console. So here, what is expected is that host a static website by S3 using Amazon S3. Implement one way to protect your data with Amazon S3. Implement a data lifecycle strategy in Amazon S3. Implement a disaster recovery strategy in for this S3 bucket. At the end of the lab, your architecture should look at the following example, which is given like this. I mean, there is a redundancy of bucket 1 and bucket 2. So yes, the first, yes, I have already launched this console. You can see that. So the challenge 1, launching a static website. So here he has already given a code for this task 1. You just click this Amazon S3, the code is downloaded. You can see this, there is a 21 MB. I have already extracted the files to my what we call as yeah, you can see CSS, images and index.html. These are the files which are there. Already I extracted and placed it into the folder. You can see here, this is the folder I have extracted all. So now what is expected is that go to S3 and create a bucket. So while creating the bucket, ensure that you are in North Virginia and also block public all access off. Okay, and this will use index.file HTML as your website hosting document. So I go to S3. Yeah, there is nothing here. I create a bucket here. So I give the bucket name as maybe my name, or like this. Maybe I'll say 10 and 20. Okay, so this is North Virginia. Okay, you can also block all public access. He mentioned very clearly, just acknowledge. And also versioning needs to be enabled. So he mentioned that disable all. No, he didn't mention anything about versioning. So just disable, leave it as it is. Scroll down, right, and create a bucket. So yes, I have created the bucket. I'll also create what is this static website hosting onto your bucket. Yeah, this on KETH10. Go to properties. To the bottom, you can see static website hosting. Say edit and say enable, just provide index.html. Okay, and say save changes. So once you make a save change, you can see there is a URL. Okay, click the URL. So you see 403 forbidden. 403 forbidden. So this is the message which we got as of now, and we don't have any files also here uploaded. So you see this one, yeah. So this is task number 2. Task number 3 is uploading contents from your S3 bucket. So I'll upload all the files, index.html, CSS and also images folder. So I can also do a drag and drop. So here I can say drag and drop to all the 3 files. Just open your bucket. Yeah, and say all the subdirectories and directories also are shown. Okay, so it is uploading all the 21 MB. 6 files. So once these things are uploaded, let us see answering questions. There are some questions which we need to take up. So details and say show, details and say show. Yeah, there is a question, answer access to multiple choice questions. Say yes here. Oh, there are 4 questions here. You can see. Just say close. So you see now all the files has been uploaded. Just say close. Let me try refreshing. Still it says 403 forbidden. So now we need to answer a question number 1. When viewing the website after task 3, do you see the page in the browser? No, the files are not publicly accessible. Just say submit. Okay, the question number 1 is submitted. Right. So let me move ahead to task 4. Creating a bucket policy to grant public read access. So here create a bucket policy that reads to bucket anonymous users, any users, by using bucket policy editor. So I can make use of this documentation. Yes, here there are various kind of sample scripts. For example, if I want to take like managing buckets, maybe access to specific folders, yes, you can use this one. I have simplified this access to this particular one as a bucket policy. Here you can use this bucket policy very clearly. So the policy, what you need to do, just copy this policy. This is 2012 1017. I'll show you. You can go to this bucket and say permissions. Under this there is a bucket policy, make edit. This is in JSON. Okay, you see 17/10/2012, that is the date of this JSON. System identifier is a public read object. So for what are all the read? All anonymous read. Okay, get is something called as a get, which is for read. Put is something for read write. So here the bucket name, in my case it is another 10 slash asterisk means all the files. So he has clearly mentioned here, you can see this. This is for all files, that grants read only permission to public anonymous users, for all the users, as a policy editor. Yes. So what I do now, I just save this file, save this policy. Yeah, the policy is now ready for accessing. Now let me see whether I am able to access the website. Yeah, I am able to access this static website. You can see the all images, everything, CSS and everything is ready. So after this, you can see confirm that the website is now publicly accessible. Now ready for challenge 2, protecting website data. Okay, so here, so this is task 5, enabling versioning on S3 bucket. So what we do is like go to your bucket and see this properties and enable this versioning. So earlier it is disabled, I am now trying to enable. Okay, just say save changes. Right. So now you can see the versioning is now enabled for this bucket. So there is a challenge here. Notice that after you enable versioning, you can't disable it. So for that, you open this index.html and make some changes. So here, this is my index.html. This is my index.html. Just open with Notepad or Notepad++. Notepad is also okay. So what I do here, you need to basically select this aquamarine and change it to Gainsborough. See this? I Control F and say Control V and find next. You can see here you need to replace with Gainsborough. just replace with this particular one. Similarly, select this orange. Yeah, you have this orange here, and change it to corn silk. Just replace with that. Okay, there is one more change which we need to do. Orange has been changed, aquamarine to Gainsborough. Yeah, here. So make this change. Yeah, you can save this file, save as maybe in a different folder, or don't select as .txt, select as all files. Maybe I'll say it here like this, maybe somewhere else. I'll save it here, index.html, and say save. Okay, and try to upload the same file. Upload, add file, or you can even do a drag and drop also. So from the desktop, where is this desktop? Yeah, this file I'm trying to upload. So now since versioning is enabled, let us check. So there should be two files. So just show versions. You can see that in index.html there are two files here. Perfect. Try to refresh. You should see some changes in the colors. Yeah, there are some changes. You see this one, earlier colors are different, now the colors are, background colors are different. Okay, list versions, you should see both the versions. Yes, we are done. Now there is a question. Browser tab, what is another way to ensure maximum protection of accidental deletion? Yeah, this one, you can use multi-factor authentication. Just you submit. Yeah, this is question number 2. Okay, so now let us move ahead to the architectural best practice. You see this one, there is a new challenge number 3, setting the lifecycle policies. So configure 2 rules in the website. So I need to create another bucket. Okay, so here lifecycle, to move older versions of the bucket. So there is a new challenge. Enabled versioning, you realize that the size of the bucket will continue to grow as an upload new objects and versions. To save cost, you decide to retire some of the older versions. Okay, so we have to create new lifecycle policy rules. To receive full credit, create 2 separate rules. Okay, so one rule is basically to move all previous versions of the bucket to S3 standard IA after 30 days. Okay, so I have this bucket, so I create this rules, create lifecycle rules. So the first rule is, maybe I'll say rule 1, something, anything. Apply all objects to the bucket. I acknowledge. Move the current versions of the object between storage classes. Move non-current versions of the object between storage classes. Yes, you can select all, and say standard IA object is about 30 days. 30 days. So and say create a rule. Yeah, standard IA, I need to say 30 days. Okay. Yeah, I have created one rule. Similarly, I need to create another rule. I'll say rule number 2. Apply all objects to this class. I acknowledge. So what is the situation? So here in rule number 2, he mentions about delete the previous versions after 365 days. Okay, so permanently delete expired objects. Okay, I'll select this. Days after, that is 365. number of, you can leave this optional. Delete expired or object delete markers, delete incomplete. So this is all 365 days. You can say and say create a rule. Okay, there are two rules. He asked us to create two individual rules. That's okay. So scroll down. Now architectural best practice, implemented the best of defining data lifecycle management. So we have a fourth challenge, enhancing durability and planning for DR. Okay, so that is task number 7, enable cross region replication. So I am going to create here another bucket, source S3 bucket in a different region. So he asked that should be in a different region. Let me create a bucket. I go to buckets, create a bucket. I say 20 KETH20, another bucket in a different region, north in North Virginia. It is in US East or US East 2. Okay, see, I can disable this block public access. It's not needed, but it's okay. But you have to enable this versioning. Versioning is must for your what we call a CRR, that is cross region replication. Yeah, in advanced settings, that's enough. Create a bucket. I need to acknowledge here. Create a bucket. So the request has been taken. See, there are two buckets in two different regions. Now select this bucket, the source bucket. I don't have anything in the destination bucket. So let us 20 is destination, no objects as of now. Okay, so I create a policy. See this bucket versioning, default encryption. Okay, so go to management. So create a replication rule. Create replication rule. I can say maybe, did he define any rule number? Okay, replicate the entire source bucket. So I can say maybe CRR, cross region replication, and say status is enabled. Source bucket, apply to all objects. Okay, choose a bucket in this account only. Yeah, browse. I can say select this 20, choose the path. Okay, yeah, choose this role. He has mentioned to select cafe role. So select this cafe role. Yes, it is here available. Replicate all objects. No, rest all is leave it defaults. Permissions to read objects. Okay, that's okay. I think if you are unable to, if you are stuck, then you can use this one, otherwise not required. Just say save. We have the policy details are given over there. Okay, so replicate existing objects. Did he mention to replicate all the objects? Okay, I think not required. No, just say no, the default. Okay, so as of now, when you see this bucket number 20, that is Anand again, no, that is, there is nothing. So now let me read something more. So I have created a cross region replication policy. So return to the browser and answer the third question. So do you see the objects from your source bucket to the destination bucket? No, I didn't see any objects. Okay, so now make a minor change to the index.html and upload the new version. Okay, what I'll do, I'll upload the original file in Anand KETH. You see this one, we already have one change here, one copy. I'll add one more copy. Maybe the original copy I'll add file, the first one. This particular one, right, and say upload. So you should see there is again if you enable these versions, you should see the third one has been updated. You can see the colors and all these things, like Frank, you can see here. It should come back to the original one. Yeah, you can see it has come to the original one. Right. Confirm that the new object was replicated in your destination. You might need to reload. Yes, let me check. So I go back. The no objects, just try to refresh. Maybe just wait for some time. Just remember, you need to make choose all, apply to all objects in the bucket. Okay, right. So that was the change. I made a mistake. You can just save this one. Just save this one. And try to add a new file. Just say upload. Yeah, just say close. There are now one more file which has been added. See, there are many versions which are there. So now go to buckets and say yeah, you can see this file has been created. So it has been copied. Now it has started working. Yeah, go to the source bucket and delete the latest version. Okay, I'll do that. I go to the source bucket, that is 10, and delete this index.html. Yeah, just say delete. So delete objects. Successfully deleted. You see that the file is not listed, but if you ask for versions, please remember the previous versions are still available. This is delete marked, but if you go to your destination RNK20, you still see this file. You still see this file. Now return to the browser. There is a question number 4. Was the version you just deleted from your source bucket also deleted your destination bucket? The answer should be no. The answer should be no. Just say submit. Okay, go back. Yeah. So now what else left? There is an architectural best practice. In this task you have implemented the architectural best practice, automatic discovery. Yeah. So according to the well architected, the start of your disaster recovery is having backups and redundant workload components in place. We should use a third party tools to automate system recovery and route traffic to the DR side. Yeah, I think we have completed all. At the top of the instructions you can say submit. So we have done almost all the tasks. Let me check whether we have done all the things. So I just submitted. Let me see the score. And also the grade. Yeah, it is still calculating. Yeah, 29 by 29. You can see all things are properly done. Okay, thank you. Let us see in a different lab, and bye.